Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Ursa Ryan. I was about to say good morning and I realised you're probably watching this actually in the morning. I release these in the evening in the UK, but then a lot of people watch from America, so perhaps in the early afternoon? Unless you're in Australia, in which case you're probably 5 days in the future, which I think is how Australian time works. Hello everybody, I'm Ursa Ryan. I'm going to repeat myself. This is an update video because I haven't done one of these in a little while and I've got all kinds of exciting updates and news for you today. I have genuine stuff to talk about, so fasten yourself in, and if what I'm saying is a little bit boring, then feast your eyes upon the game in the background. Now this I will talk about properly towards the end of the video. I was asked, quite sensibly by my Patreon crew, hey, have you ever played on Zombies mode? To which I went, no, I've literally never played on Zombies mode. I have well in excess of 3,000 hours in Civ 6 and I've never even touched it. How hard could it be, I said. So I loaded up a game with zombie mode enabled with China because I wanted to have a go with the Great Wall. Apparently they could do this thing where if you stick the wall tiles down, they damage units as they come past them. So I was like, sure, that sounds good fun. This should be really easy. So I kicked it into Deity++ mode and we played this game. We'll come back to this in a little bit. It should be interesting. I really enjoyed this game and there's more to say on this, but anyway, updates. Now the eagle-eyed among you will already know that this has happened because I've changed the video outro slightly, the sort of panel where I have the shout out to all the channel supporters at the end of it, and I've also been including it as a link in my videos for a few days now, but I now have a Ko-fi account. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to go for Ko-fi. I've heard Ko-fi. Ko-fi? Coffee. It's got to be like coffee like the drink, surely. That would be the entirety of the brand. I just assumed they picked an interesting way of spelling it because you couldn't literally put coffee down because that's not really a copyrightable thing. It's something everyone drinks. In short, it is a new way for everybody to support the channel. It's basically the same as Patreon. Imagine that you're walking through life, you're Patreon, everyone knows who you are, you've got a good reputation, everyone's like, hey, you do good stuff in the community, well done for supporting artistic types, and you're like, yeah, I know I'm good. And you just you go through a few years, life is good, you're pretty relaxed, like you've kind of let things go a little bit, maybe there's a little bit more around the waist than you think, but hey, everyone really respects you, you've got the fame, it doesn't matter, and you look over your shoulder and suddenly your interested other half is looking at the new kid on the block. It's Coffee. It seems to be this sort of younger, slimmer model that seems to do everything you do, but slightly better, and you're like, huh, that's a little bit concerning. That's basically what Coffee is. It's basically the same as Patreon, and I'm giving it a go because it's sort of launching into the competitive space of Patreon. Most importantly for me, it has lower fees. So when you support the channel, I have to pay slightly less per supporter than I would do for Patreon. Now don't worry, we're talking about marginal small things here. So all of the support I get on Patreon is still really appreciated, and oh my god, is it needed. Thank you so much for that. I'm not saying that it's not worth doing, but I'm giving Coffee a go because I've heard some really good things about it by other creators, and it does seem to be a little bit trimmer, a little bit more efficient, takes a little bit off the side, it's a leaner cut of meat, so we're giving it a go. So going forward, if you find yourself with a little bit of extra change and you're like, hey, Ursa Ryan, he gives me joy, I want to support him, then brilliant. Coffee is an alternative way you can do it. Basically, the only difference between the two from your point of view is I think Coffee works on PayPal and Patreon works on Payoneer. Now, if you're not really keen on your payment companies, it won't mean a thing to you, but I think there's now an option. You get the same benefits. So all the stuff I offer on Patreon, I have exactly the same as Coffee. Mainly, the main benefits are sort of being included in a little bit more of a small secret society I keep with the channel on Discord. Basically, I'm renaming them as channel supporters as opposed to just the Patreon crew, because now there's two places you can come from. But that crew is just effectively the people that I run ideas off. I hope I'm selling this well enough. They listen to this and I really hope you feel like you're getting benefit. But we think about video ideas all the time, we have little conversations, you help me to make city names, to use mods, all the stuff that kind of is like the creative brains behind the channel, the Patreon crew, now the channel supporters crew. That's going to be difficult to get out of my head because I've said Patreon for so long. They're sort of like the artistic backbone of the channel. And to reiterate, Patreon and Ko-fi are both incredibly equal ways of supporting for you. I don't mind which one you use, but now you have a choice. The other thing that Ko-fi does allow me to do is I now have a tip jar. So if you ever fancy just giving me like a little bit here and there, but you're not committed to the monthly thing, that's now an option. Go to Ko-fi, there will be links on pretty much every video I ever put out. You'll see it, you won't miss it, because it'll be shoved down your throats. Tasty, tasty forced feeding. But in all seriousness, I just wanted to put another plug for all of the channel supporters. The support, there's now over 30 of you, and I cannot stress how valuable the support is. It is so helpful. It's allowed me not only to get the new PC and all the equipment that's helping me to produce much better content, but I'm in the process of upgrading all my equipment at the moment, and it is incredibly supportive. It also helps me to maintain a good quality of life that helps me to do all of this stuff whilst I'm doing everything else in my life, like working. I know, right? Sucks, doesn't it? I think this is now to the point where the support is getting so valuable that I can now see an option on the horizon that would allow me to do this like increasingly full time, which I never thought I'd ever say in my life. It's going to take a bit more, and I'm not saying that in order to get people in. It's crazy how much the channel has blown up recently, but thank you again for all of your support. If you don't fancy supporting on Patreon and Ko-fi, oh my god, it does not matter. Just watching these videos is enough for me. Subscribe if you haven't done so. It really helps the YouTube algorithm kick in, and all of the interactions like the likes and the comments and sharing the channel with your friends, making Reddit posts, coming to the Discord, all of that is free, and my goodness, does it help the channel. Thank you all so much for all of your support. I'm going to stop. I have to, this is the problem, right? I have to shill my stuff every now and then because so much time and effort goes into it. If I don't ask people, it's so stupid. I have to physically ask people to subscribe, and every time I do, the amount of people that then subscribe is huge. So it does work, but I feel sticky and dirty every time I do it, so we're going to be moving on quite quickly now. I really do feel sticky. Speaking of, I am currently, as is often the case when I film, I have this massive cup of tea. It's huge. It probably would take almost a pint of tea. Like, it's at the point where I'm almost at 2 tea bags. 1 tea bag is good enough, and I just leave it to brew for like a couple of minutes longer. I'm properly British, right? A good cup of tea for me is like a 5-6 minute brew with a small dash of milk, not too milky. It has to be looking kind of like grey and disappointing, like everybody's work lives, including mine. That is an analogy nobody wanted. It also has, I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Yes, that is right. It is a huge Marauders Map Harry Potter mug. It's one of 3 massive mugs I have. I also have a Game of Thrones one that has the Night Watch oath on it, what's being, you're not taking children and guarding the wall to your... I forget what the oath actually is. And I also have a Guinness one I picked up in Dublin. That was really cool. It's by far my biggest mug, and my goodness, it's like awesome. I was thinking if I ever did merchandise, I'd be doing none of this like rubbish t-shirt stuff. I think I would just find someone that did massive tea mugs. Oh my goodness, an Ursa Ryan teapot. Could you imagine? Oh, that would be brilliant. Yeah, I think this is my calling in life. Screw the YouTube stuff, I'm just going to make teapots. And none of these like tiny tea mugs as well. These are going to be like huge murder weapon things. Like if you got clonked by one, you would be immediately warped into a game of Cluedo as the person that died. It was random subscriber with the Ursa Ryan mug in the kitchen. Yes. You know, I actually have a script in front of me of all the stuff I want to go through on these update videos, and I just stop talking about tea, Ryan. This is so stupid. Okay, what I wanted to say was you may have noticed that there has been an increase in video length over the last couple of weeks, and that is a very deliberate thing. Now, I am very, very lucky that I have a little bit of support now in basically kicking the content out. My wife is an amazing human being, and she is starting to learn how to video edit. She's doing a lot of the admin behind the channel. She's really, really helping me, and basically the entirety of both of our free time outside of work now goes into the channel. It is tragic how little else we are doing in our lives, but it is massively helping. And what we're doing at the moment is I'm focusing on increasing video length a little bit. Now, why am I doing it? We've been doing a lot of research into YouTube and the algorithm and how to push the channel out. And I mean, I'd like to say that this is entirely laughable as a topic because there is literally no way to predict what happens with the YouTube algorithm. And if you watch 10 things, you'll get 10 different answers, and it is all entirely stupid. So it's all about trial and error and just throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks, seeing what doesn't stick. And at the moment, what we seem to get the indication of is that watch time is almost, if not more, important than views these days. I don't know when it changed, it probably changed a couple of years ago, but it certainly seems to be making an effort. Basically, what YouTube wants, have you ever been, right? This is explaining my own life far too much. Have you ever had one of those days where you start watching a video and you're like, okay, this is like downtime. This is like 5 minutes between doing things. Maybe I'm moving from the kitchen to the back room. Maybe I'm waiting for something to load on my computer. Maybe I'm waiting for the kettle to brew. And you're like, okay, I'm going to get my phone out and just watch something. And then you find yourself watching a video, and that video becomes another video, and that video becomes another video. And suddenly you realize it's an hour and a half later, and you've missed your dentist appointment, and your child no longer knows what your face looks like. That's what YouTube wants. It wants people to get hooked and go from one video to another, to another, to another, to another. All that wasted time, like if you could imagine the sheer, procrastination potential of the world, all that time being thrown around that people are wasting, YouTube feeds off that like Cthulhu, just absorbing all of the potential wasted energy from people, and it turns that into advertising revenue. So that's what it's after. It's after viewing sessions, like people sitting down and going video to video to video to video. And because of that, it seems like video length is just as important now as views. Back in the day when I first started, like 7 or 8 years ago, it's tragic how long ago I started, by the way, it seemed to be that you had to get over like 10 minutes on the videos to get all the advertising to trigger, but after that it was like short, punchy, daily videos, view. The more views you got, the more subscribers you got. It was quite a simple thing. Now it's all about interaction, it's all about video length, it's about how long people watch, it's about retention. So what we're doing is we're going for longer videos, basically to condense series down a bit. Instead of putting out a series of content where like I would split it over 6 videos, I'm now doing it over 3 or maybe even 4 if it's a long series. And basically you're seeing no less content. Like, I'm not editing anything more or less out than I would normally be doing. If I'm playing a series, I still show you exactly the same stuff I would have done, but now it's in bigger episodes and you get through series more. My idea is basically to give you 2 new series every week. That's kind of the aim I go for. So say, at the moment, I've just put out the Spanish series, and after that point, what came before? We had the Mali series, the Desert series. So all of this stuff is sort of going up, and I'm trying to put it in 2 series per week, and that gives longer episodes. And oh my goodness, is it helping? The last 2 weeks, yes, I am tired and absolutely blown away by the amount of effort that it's putting in. Thank goodness I have a little bit of support behind the scenes, and this is where, again, the channel support really, really helps, because it is our lives we're throwing into this at the moment. We love it, by the way, right? Don't give me sympathy. I do this deliberately and out of choice, okay? So I love it, but this is where we're actually seeing a huge increase in traction at the moment. The last couple of weeks, the views, the view time, it's all been huge. Like, the growth spurt that we're seeing at the moment is massive. So thank you again for all of your support. Thank you all for watching the stuff that we put out. A lot of effort goes into this, and I'm really glad you're all enjoying it. It's mad, and this is kind of like part of the push to try and get it out, because at the moment the one thing that isn't growing as fast as views and watch time and all that stuff that is growing massively is subscriber count. Subscriber count is still slowly tricking along at like 600-700 a month, which is, again, crazy considering the level of growth I had like even a year ago, but it doesn't seem to be growing very fast at the moment, and that is a problem we're still working at. We're trying to be able to push our videos to a wider audience, and that's a little bit tricky to do. You can't just like tick a box that says, oh, YouTube, do you mind showing our stuff to more people? It's all It's all crazy. So you will see us experimenting with different bits and pieces. We're trying new styles of thumbnails. So if you see different graphic design, that's why. We're changing the way that we describe videos. We're trying to do little things behind the scenes, like all of the timestamps on videos. You'll notice that I now timestamp, like, here's where I do the Pantheon, here's where I make the second city, all that stuff. And that's all part of the algorithm and getting people to do it. So the reason why people do that is if you Google like Civ 6 Mongolia playthrough, for instance, then anything that you get shown on Google, the more optimized it is, the higher up it goes. But if you put timestamps in it, Google can do this thing where it kind of gives you a special sort of search. You'll have noticed it, like if you search like how to change a light bulb or how to change the oil in your car, and you Google it, I can guarantee you one of the first things that'll pop up is a video with chapters. So you can be like, oh, and here's how to open the engine cover, and here's how to find your oil thing, and here's how to drain it, and it'll be sort of chronologically stacked into chapters. That is the time stamping. God, I just whacked my elbow on the table. That really hurt. Oh, I start gesticulating when I do update videos. It's really stupid because I haven't got my hands on the keyboard because I'm not physically playing the game, and oh, that hurt. That was a right funny bone whack, that. I don't know how much you heard that. I have a shock absorber on the microphone. Oh, I was going to mention that. A few series ago, people were noticing there was a sort of bump, 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 bump thumping noise on the microphone. I changed all the way my desk was set up, and my microphone effectively hangs on a shock absorber. And what I'd done is I for whatever reason, when I was moving it all about, I'd loosened it all up accidentally. So the physical microphone was rocking in its like shock absorber, and it was just going bump, 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 and hitting off the side like some sort of metronome. And I didn't notice until like 3 episodes had been filmed. So sorry about that again. I realized what it was. Ridiculous. But going back to the original topic, God, this is all over the place today. You will see me trying to sort of experiment with different styles of video, different things. Ultimately, I'm not really going to be changing what I do because the way I edit and the way that we put videos out ultimately has organically matured over a long period of time. I'm not going to change the channel drastically, but you might see the way it's presented differed a little bit, and that's all basically to try and get people from a wider audience to watch the channel. Because at the moment, you know, when people say like, oh thanks for watching, but remember to smash that subscribe button because only like 5% of the people that watch this channel are subscribed. Well, like 60% of the people that watch this channel are subscribed. It's crazy how loyal you all are. At the moment, the problem is that YouTube doesn't show my stuff to many people outside of the subscriber base, so that's what we're trying to attack at the moment. It's probably because all the other YouTubers are just so goddamn good. You've got Botheus making amazing content. You've got Potato McWhiskey just consuming everybody into his sort of spudverse. It's very difficult to get traction, but hey, we're doing it, and the support we're getting at the moment is crazy. I could not ask for more, although I am physically asking for more, I guess, but I don't need to ask for more, and I have no right to. So one relatively exciting thing that happened is behind me, you can hear me sort of physically turning around in my chair, behind me, I now have a box with a massive green screen set up. It is wonderful. This is one of the many things that Patreon channel supporters managed to help me get, but it is, like, to describe it, it's about sort of 7 feet wide and about 8 feet high. It kind of is put up on what I could only describe as like a huge sort of goalpost or like washing frame or something like that. I've got, do you remember like when you went to school and you had your picture taken for the yearbook and the photographer came up with sort of those white umbrella light diffusers that were stacked on the side? I now have those. Oh, it looks professional. Actually, no, I say that, it doesn't look professional. It looks utterly tacky, but it is a professional setup now. Goodness me. So that green screen I'm using at the moment for a little bit of a secret project. I hope you will enjoy it when you see it. It should be good. But it's not one of those like small ones you put behind a chair and my face is going to be popping up on videos. It's not that. It's something bigger. It's something more exciting. I really hope you all enjoy what we're concocting at the moment. It's very different. It's not going to be replacing Civ content, don't worry. I'll be throwing little bits in here and there, but Oh yes, we are very excited about that. Speaking of getting excited, plans for the next month include some very interesting games. Now, I don't actually remember which order this is going to go up in. I think you just saw the Mongolian Peaceful playthrough. Again, that was a channel supporter, a Patreon suggested game. It was really, really fun to film, and just playing Mongolia and Genghis Khan as a peaceful person was just hilariously fun. But we have some other interesting games coming out. I'm going back to the Atoll map that we played with Spain, because I went through the whole thing thinking like, A, this is such a fun game, I really, really liked it, and B, wouldn't it have been fantastic if we got God of the Sea, and C, wouldn't Indonesia have been fantastic on this map? I was going to play as Coupe, and I realised I've played Coupe way too much recently, and I haven't played Indonesia in ages, so we're going back to that game with a little bit of a twist. I hope you'll enjoy that. It should be really, really fun. Of course, more TSL stuff is coming. I'm going to do more channel votes. You'll see them on the community tab of my channel, but also inundated onto your home screen. Normally what happens is you just get given votes every like third or fourth thing. But the reason people put votes on those channel polls is that the polls get flagged way more to people. They get shilled hugely and shipped out massively compared to things without polls, because it's all about interaction. So I use that as a way to get like TSL content, but hey, it's good fun. I love TSL. Oh, I keep getting asked what TSL is. You haven't been watching enough of the channel, clearly. It's True Start Location. I think I said True Start Earth in one of the recent series, and it had to get edited in that I'm a moron, but there we go. As I've mentioned before, channel supporters, you all help me to make and plan the content. I try and use a lot of your ideas as we go. I'm getting through more series at the moment. At the moment, we're doing kind of 2 series every week, so I'm hoping we can change up and try different things and play different games and do all kinds of extra stuff, like the Tibet game. Oh, I loved that. That was so much fun. They are amazing Civ. If you do play on PC and you haven't given that mod a go, I would really recommend it. But we also, there's another mod, it's very piratey, that's come out recently. That's I'm really looking forward to playing that. There's aliens, there's all kind of, oh man, there's tons of stuff that's looking really, really good. And the channel supporters help me to kind of whittle those ideas into something that sounds a little bit sensible and a little bit interesting. If you, yes you, and imagine me pointing at you like a World War II poster right now, if you have ideas that you want me to use, be it video ideas, mod ideas, leave it in the comments on videos, especially on these update videos. That's kind of where I'll see it more. Come to Discord and chat through with the community. I will always see pretty much any Discord comment you leave, any comment you leave on the channel. I pretty much read every single one of them, so if you put it down, I will see it. I can't promise, but I will do everything that I get sent, because my goodness, I get sent a lot of ideas, and being honest with you, a lot of the ideas I get I've either done before, or I've done something similar quite recently. I do get sent some really interesting stuff I've never thought about. Remember, with a good video idea, the more complicated and convoluted the setup, generally, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but it becomes more difficult for people to watch and enjoy. The best ideas are the simple ideas. If you have something that sounds really funny, that's really stupid and simple, it can be difficult, it can be hilarious, it can just be alternative. I don't care what it is, leave it. Admittedly, when it comes to sort of spitballing through ideas, normally what happens is I try and get a bit of a sift of ideas, and I go to the channel supporters and we kind of hash through the ideas that are kind of like sound best. So again, if you want to support the channel, that's a really good way of getting creative input in, but leave it on a video, leave it on Discord. You will naturally get my attention. And speaking of Discord, it's called TURD because I love a good acronym and I'm very immature. There's something like 2,700 people who love Civ on that channel. So if you don't have Discord, or you do have Discord and you haven't joined the Ursa Brian Discord, it's a brilliant place. We have chats about Civ and about mods and about playthroughs. I'm gonna actually, and this kind of links back to future stuff, there's a couple of channel challenges popping up soon. I have a few ideas that should be very good fun for everybody to get stuck in with, and more importantly, I think the next one should be console players friendly. So if you play on the Switch or on PlayStation or on Xbox or on your iPad, apparently you can play, is it true you can play on iPads and tablets and stuff? That's crazy. Goodness me, they're way more powerful than the things I remember, you know, being brought up. In my day, an iPad, you used to be able to fish it inside a bottle and it would be powered by steam and goodwill and faith to all men. So that should be fun, but I also keep, and again, I know I say this, all of my mods, all of the save files for the games we play, it's all on Discord. I'm using somebody else's mod, like a third-party mod that's really exciting, like obviously the Tibet mod is a good example. I do try and link them in the video, but there's a good reason I don't list all the mods that I use in my videos. I bet I use just so many UI mods now that I forget about them all. Is A, I can't remember the ones I use. B, the list is too long to be putting it in every video and explaining every video because it would get repetitive. And C, I can just list it in Discord, and you have to come to Discord to look at the list because it's a really good way of funneling people through, because I am a douche. We've been expanding the sort of channels on the Discord recently as well, and one thing I am going to just shill a little bit is we are currently looking for artwork, emojis, anything that you have created or you know that has been created about the channel. We're looking for all sort of things to expand, so there is a channel dedicated to sort of fan art, I guess is what you would call it. You have an amazing comic about me and my love of Petra or Oxford University, great! Come to Discord and you can pop that there, and we will probably end up using it. And we're building up actual Ursa Ryan, what do they call them, emojis and reactions and stuff we can use on Discord. At some point, I'll bring them across to YouTube. I don't know how to do that. That's a project for another day. But yes, artwork. If that's what we are massively plugging at the moment. We also have some new mods on the Discord as well. Exciting! We've grown so much. We're just a big happy family now, eh? If you ever have any problems about Civ, like you want to learn more about how to play the game, or you're getting stuck on stuff, or you want to save share files with people, share save files with people. Ooh, here we go. It's happening again. I need more tea. More tea. More tea. That's better. I will be able to say things clearly now. I clearly won't. But yes, TURD. It's a wonderful place. Now, enough of that. You will have noticed in the background that I am playing this game of Civ. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So Zombies mode. It has the potential to be really, really interesting. I like the idea of harder barbarians. We've played with Barbarian Breakout, the mod before, that spawns hundreds and hundreds of the damn things in, and it's a very similar thing. Zombies walk around the map, they just blindly attack anything they see. They don't pillage tiles, they just go for anything that's sort of defendable. They go for military units, they steal civilians, all of that stuff. The idea behind them is really cool. The more zombies you kill, the stronger they get. So if you keep killing zombies, they begin to get progressively harder and harder and harder, which is a very interesting idea as well. You also find that if you kill regular units, zombies will respawn on the tiles that you originally killed those people on. It's all very exciting. The mode also brings defendable districts like traps, anything that gives a defensive strength like Roman forts, the Maori special defensive, is it the Toa district, and then also China with its Great Walls of China. All of these things start to do damage to hostile people around you as well. So basically what I was doing is building genuine walls of China, which made me so happy, and using them as an actual defensive platform. I've never done it before, but my goodness, it was a lot of fun. I love playing China in Civ 6. They are one of my favourites. I love the extra eureka and inspiration percentages you get. It makes you feel like the cleverest being ever when you play Civ, and you're getting like 50%. Oh my goodness, oh that's so cute. Sorry, I'm just looking out my window. There is a lone pigeon that has just gone into the hedge, and it has pulled out this tiny branch that's still about 3 times the size of it. Have you ever seen dogs when they walk along on walks and they have logs that they hold, like, look, I found a stick, and it's like 3 feet off like either side, and they just run past whacking into people's legs? This pigeon looks like that, and it tried to fly off, but it was too big for it. Oh, and it's having to put it down. Oh, it's got another one. It's got another one. It's fine. Don't worry. But yeah, what was I talking about? China. That's right. They get extra build charges. They get to rush wonders. They're really, really fun. Really, really fun Civ. I still think Kublai China is better. Putting it out there, because I know that's a controversial opinion, but it is true. Oh, they're so good. But I was like, okay, China will work well on this zombie mode. And I was thinking as well, we can use this to our advantage. If I kill the zombies repeatedly, then they'll get so hard that they will swarm the AI and they will start to peg the AI back. A great idea in thought. Things you need to learn. I've never played Zombies mode before. This was my genuine first ever game. I was like, okay, we're going to try some of the dynamics here, using holy site prayers to like convert them and using them for this and that. Like, I was genuinely like, okay, I think I can do this. First game, it's fine. I had the worst start. As you can see, I was absolutely swarmed by not just zombies, but genuine barbarians. I think I lost a city, I got hemmed in, it was an atrocious start. I probably think I was about 100 turns behind where I should be. Like on turn 150, I kind of had like a 50 to 60 turn start. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. And just to make it even better, the Deity plus AI, with all of their extra tech eurekas and with their extra warriors and extra cities, they all did really, really well at the beginning of the game. They had no problem with the zombies at all, which is totally the opposite of what I expected. Like, I expected them to be so pegged in, like, you know, in dramatic ages where the AI just can't handle it. Like pretty much any other game mode, you put secret societies in, you put monopolies and corporations in, you put heroes and legends, the AI can't handle any of them. They have big problems with them. So I was like, right, zombies mode will cripple the AI. It did not. I am so far behind in this game, it is crazy. I mean, it is my first ever game with zombies, and sometimes you do have games like this, right? It does happen. I am mortal, apparently. But really, the takeaway is that this game turned out to be way more interesting than I thought it would. So, as you've probably noticed, this is not the entire game. We're actually going to be returning to this game next episode as part of a genuine series where I start on like turn 150, 160, and we get stuck in because we are so far behind. But now we have like a little, like you can see I backed into the corner of the map. I have this little archipelago and I'm like, right, I'm now safe, I'm now defendable, it's all good. Can we get ourselves back into this? This is like the big like a disaster save file, I guess is what you'd call it. Yeah, like a genuine disaster save file. And it's with my own making. I'm not taking anybody else's. This is me utterly breaking my own game. And yeah, like, can I survive this save file? It should be a really interesting series, and I really hope you enjoy it because it is totally different to other ones I've done recently. This is Ursa Ryan genuinely struggling at the game, and when I say I'm behind, like at one point I think I'm like 25 texts behind. I am so far behind, it is ridiculous. Like, you'll want to watch this game. It is really, really interesting. But that is me. That is May in an update video. We are spiraling quickly towards 13,000 subscribers. I have no idea if we'll get to that point by the time this update video comes out. We may do. I mean, the growth has been crazy recently. The views are just insane. Like, I was looking, like, I think we had like 20,000 views in a day the other day. Which is mad. Like, I think I mentioned this before, but to get to 20,000 views in a day, I think that would have taken me a couple of years to get to 20,000 views when I first started the channel. If you ever want to have a laugh, you really should go and check the channel stats out for the first few years. Like, it is really a lesson in stick at it, kids. Your dreams will come true. I also see the occasional people lurking around in the comments of like my really old videos, and oh, that's always a blast from the past. Maybe do you think I should like watch some of my old videos like as a reaction video thing for like a subscriber special? Is that the sort of thing you'd find? Did people enjoy the Q&A? This is a good thing. Actually, I'm going to leave this as sort of engagement thing for this particular video. What would be a good subscriber goal celebration? Like a Q&A? Did you enjoy that last time? Or maybe like me going back through old videos, or me taking on a crazy challenge? Like, what sort of thing do you want to see? Oh, and Stellaris. I'm going to be playing a little bit of Stellaris on the channel. There's a big update coming for that, big piece of DLC, which is coming out soon. And I've been practicing in the background of Stellaris. I'm now up to Grand Admiral difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty at it. It took me months, but we learnt it. It's a totally different style of game. It's like a real-time game rather than a turn-based game. I love it to bits. I'm not going to be making this channel into a Stellaris channel. Don't worry. What I will be doing is, there's a YouTuber I absolutely love called Laughland. You've probably seen them. He has like 400,000 subscribers. He's really, really big. And he does these big giga campaigns of Stellaris like into one episode. And that's sort of, I'm going to take a lot of inspiration into that and be like, right, okay, we've just, for instance, played a game with Spain and we've just gone to space. What would happen next? I mean, I might play Spain in space as like one episode off. here's a Stellaris game. You all play Civ 6, I know you do, because you love this channel. You love Stellaris. It is a natural, good fit of the perfect game for you. I'll be playing other games as well, but I've really been putting a lot of effort into my background play of Stellaris, and it should be a lot of fun, so I really hope people really enjoy that. Right, consider yourself all updated, you beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you all so much for your support, and as ever, I'll see you in the next series, which, let me tell you now, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm hearties. Goodbye. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Matthew Wilkinson, Salty Tech, Davalex, Trevor Daskby, Paul Coffey, Kroger Brand Trail Mix, Alex Noob, Cinnamon Beard Portland, Petra Ryan, and Matthew Hatch for all of your support and for everybody that generally helps the channel to thrive. Thank you all very much. See you next time.